Well, I have the pleasure to have Jean-Marie Dru with me here at our tent talk. Actually, this is a tent you donated to the police.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you forgot that. Yeah. And but we always are reminded when we are sitting in that tent. And you had a fantastic masterclass today with class number 6, with our new students, participants. Jean-Marie, when you look back to your career,
to the 40 years,
but specifically what you have achieved with your colleagues at TBWA, and getting the pat on the back from Fast Company of being one of the most innovative companies, not just agencies, companies in the world.
Yes.
What made it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, seriously, it's a lot of different things. Let's say two things. One, I've always believed that everybody can be creative. So we have the creative talent, the creatives, and I want to have the best. But at the same time, the planners, the account guys, everybody should be innovative, creative. It's been my life to say that a briefing to the creative guys should be inspirational, should be creative itself, should have an insight, a perspective. So I've been fighting all my life so that moment, the briefing to the creative, would be a very special moment. That's one. And the second thing I think is commitment. A lot of people are creative. A lot of agencies start creative and they don't stay creative because it's a fight of every day. So that's the two things. Everybody's creative, but you have to fight every day.
But you went through a lot of mergers, even within TBWA.
Yes.
You wrote 3 books on disruption, beyond disruption, how disruption brought order.
Yes.
So has it brought order? Was it the glue for
absolutely, absolutely. Disruption is at the core of our company. As I told you this morning, we've done something like 3,000 disruption days in the last 5 years. 50,000 of our clients have been going through a disruption day. So it's at the core of the company. Now, having said that, we are lucky enough because when you merge agencies, very often it's, as you know, this business is a graveyard of mergers who failed. We've been lucky enough because Chiat Day in LA, TBWA Network, Hunt Lascaris in South Africa, my company BDDP in Paris, we are very close in terms of culture. We all believed in planning. Chiat Day started strategic planning in America. So we all believe that we should not be only creative for the sake of being creative, but without any arrogance. We thought we should be smart. Smart advertising as opposed to simply creative. And we would say, oh, that's interesting. And we had that in common. So it was not so easy because I was in charge of merging all these things. So you got people issues. You can't have 2 CEOs, you can't have 2 creative directors. So I had to go that painful period in 98 and 99. But after, it was very easy because these companies were very close, and disruption was the accelerator that made it happen.
It seems that you, with disruption and with the following, let's say, products that you produce, like media arts and so forth, that you solve a huge industry problem, and that is the whole industry seems to me be very much focused on the next ad or the next thing, but you step back with disruption and give new life to the future of your clients. You're interested in a business idea, in a brand idea, in a distribution idea, and that this is all sort of influenced by your disruption thinking basis architecture.
Yeah, maybe because I felt guilty of being in the advertising business when I was 25, and I always wanted to elevate that business, to move it to the next level. I love that business, and I think sometimes it's underestimated, and I believe that there is no way you cannot do great advertising if you're not a great strategist and if you're not influencing the business of your clients. So we should see ourselves as business consultants. That's what we are. You have all these consultants that all these big companies, and they are very smart and very rational, but they have no imagination. And in the world of today, with everything changing so fast, you have to imagine new future for the brands, and that's the only way for our clients to work. So I think we, as an industry, we should not overestimate ourselves, but we shouldn't underestimate ourselves either. We can be very important for our clients, and even more today with the digital age, the digital revolution, and all the changes that are coming. They need to know where to go and what their brand should stand for, and that's why I believe we have to be very strong upstream, not only downstream in the execution, but upstream in the thinking.
Can you say in general, when you through the disruption find a new way to communicate, new content to communicate, that also the business performs better for your...
Well, what I can say, it's difficult to say because it's sometimes a little confidential, but I always believe that downstream, advertising, if it's well done, can influence upstream. So I've seen some places or some clients when we work with them on disruption, we came with a vision, we did a campaign, and then the campaign reinforces the belief in the brand vision because it's executed. I've seen that for Danone 20 years ago in my country. I made a big campaign about health. The campaign was so good that it reinforced the belief of the company, and then they decided that 100% of the money on R&D would be on health. You see, I've done the same. We've seen the same with some of our clients. I cannot, because now it's new, I cannot share with you. But in general, I mean, I've seen some briefing to the product development that have been changed after disruption day. I've seen that several times.
I mean, if disruption really kicks in, it means that a new behavior starts with the people, and they see things differently, and they adapt new habits.
Yes. I have a nice and beautiful example because Pedigree, as you know, used to have the same campaign for 25 years. Beautiful campaign which was recommended by dog breeders. After 20 years, things are wearing out, so they had to come with something else. It was very rational, very, and we came to them, and we, disruption day, and we realized that the emotional link between the dog owner and the dogs are so big that we said to them, maybe there is a vision here that everything you do is for the love of dogs, and you should not be a dog food company anymore. You should be a dog lovers company. Okay. End result, we've done all that. People in Pedigree go to the office with their dogs. They go to Walmart or to Carrefour, the salesmen with their dogs. In Tokyo, the office, the building they were in didn't allow dogs, so they just moved. They were to different premises because they said we have to have our dogs. So the whole emotional move inside Pedigree is very high now in terms of relationship with the dogs and so on. It has changed a lot in the company, yes. And obviously, it has an influence. I don't know if it's light or big. You will decide when you see it 2 or 3 years down the road on some of the products they're going to develop or they are developing.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Yeah. And simple, and it's very human or
very simple,
animal oriented. I have the feeling whenever I meet you and when you talk about the company, you talk about the details, the work. You are very much into it. You're very informed on what's going on wherever it is on the planet. Is that the fabric a leader needs in order to be believable and infectious to its people?
I guess so. When I was in YNR in the late 70s, the CEO of YNR at the time said, I consider myself as the account executive on every brand of the company. In fact, he didn't do it at all. He said it, but he never did it. But I try to do that myself. I want to know, and people in my company know that I love to know, so they inform me, they tell me, they ask me my opinion. They don't care, but they pretend they care, and that's nice. Yes, I try to follow, and it's just simple because I just love it. As you know.
Now. You said something very important today. If we want to make it a great industry, we have the duty to support it. You are a supporter. You speak all over the place.
Yes.
What would you tell the industry? How can we bring it back, advertising, but also to see it in a wider sense, that it's not just it is media, it is entertainment, it is design.
Well, I think we are at a turning point again, and everything is good news for our industry, nearly everything, because of the internet, because of what's happening, and the media thinking is very important and different. How do you allocate the resources within all the different channels and so on? That's one. Creativity, it's impossible to be repetitive anymore because people don't look at you anymore, you see. So the business model of the 80s or 70s, when you repeat, it's finished. Integration, to integrate all these things, So, in fact, I believe our clients have never needed us more than today, seriously. At least much more today than 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So that's good news for the industry. On the other side, because of the role of procurement, because of the recession, the pressure on the compensation is extreme. It's much too much. On top of it, we have to produce more now because in terms of content, because of the internet, when we used to produce one commercial and 2 print ads, we have to do that, we have to do a website, we have to do blogs, we have to do documentaries. So the content we produce is 5-10 times more. So there is a scissor effect where there is a squeeze. So on one side, the industry is in great shape because clients need us more than before. On the other side, the pressure on the compensation is terrible. So we have to fix that. So as you know, we've discussed that. We are taking a lot of initiatives ourselves, TBWA, but the whole industry has to find new ways. We have to move from cost-based compensation to value-based. It's very difficult to define, but we have to make it happen. It's a question of, life and death, not far from.
Yeah. So, if there's one thing in front of you that you struggle the most with,
it's compensation. Yeah, sure.
That's it.
Compensation and that's one side, and the other side is that because of what's happening, we need more and more capabilities inside the agency, from digital to content to design to media and so on. So the strategic planning has to be redefined, and people cannot go in and out and come back because they have to follow every day. So, in the past, the planners would work 3 weeks on a brand and would go away, come back 6 months after. That's impossible. So they have to do much more. They have to have much more capabilities, and we don't have the money. So that's the tough one. How to redefine planning, and that's it's never been more important to have strong planning.
One thing can help more leaders with an attitude of win-win in this business, so that understand that creativity is important and everyone has to pay the bills and has to feed the kids and so forth.
Absolutely.
It's a great business, and I think your presence here at the Berlin School underlined it again.
You're very kind. It's a pleasure.
Jean-Marie.
Thank you. Take care, Michael. Thank you.